Broadcasting from Park Avenue West, you're watching WMFD Television, Channel 68.1, Mansfield.
This program discusses sensitive mental health issues, including suicide. Viewer discretion is advised.
Maybe an hour after we got the message that we lost Danny, Danny's sister said to us, we were all crying, and she says, "What do we do? What do we tell people?" And I'm like, "Baby, we got to tell them the truth. This is nothing that can be hidden, because otherwise the suicide will win."
We're not mental health professionals. It's just something that happened to our family. We direct people other places. And most important of all, I think, don't quit. Keep fighting. Keep living. Things will get better.
Good evening and welcome to Sparking the Conversation. We are Donna and Jeff Heck. We are with 33 Forever, and we are so excited to be able to bring you weekly half-hour messages, stories, and resources surrounding mental health topics and challenges. Our show's purpose and our definite hope is to provide both information and inspiration, making conversations about mental health the norm.
Stan and Valerie Rust are founding members of Starfish Project of Richland County, which is a 501c3, along with Sheriff Steve Sheldon and Pastor Tom Snyder. Stan and Valerie are volunteers, as are all board members for Starfish, and are also peer-certified peer supporters for Catalyst Life Services. Stan is retired from General Motors, and Valerie is retired from the Richland County Child Support Agency. They have 5 children and 15 grandchildren. And we welcome you guys to Sparking the Conversation. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you for inviting us, yes.
We're glad to have you. We've been looking forward to this because we hear about Starfish so much.
Yes.
But for those people in our audience who don't know what Starfish Project is here locally, why don't you tell them?
Okay. Starfish Project was designed to just help people find resources. Initially, because of our experience with our son, when he started down his path of addiction, there was no one to help guide someone. There was no one to help the parents. There was no one to help the individuals who were struggling, just kind of navigate the systems. So when our son started to get his traction in sobriety, we started getting calls from people asking for assistance. So we just started just that part, just trying to help people find those things that would help them get sober. We were kind of a one-trick pony at that point. We had used Adult and Teen Challenge with our son, and that's what we used for other people. Adult and Teen Challenge is a 1-year residential faith-based program. It's a little over 60 years old. If anybody's old enough to remember The Cross and the Switchblade, it's that story of David Wilkerson.
Okay.
And so that was the founder of the program. But shortly after, we realized there were so many barriers that kept people from actually going into recovery. It's not enough to tell somebody to just get sober. We realized that people needed to detox quite often. Before they entered treatment, there were no really good detox entities. When we started, we were actually telling people if they maybe were arrested and could detox in jail, they would be safe, at least there.
Right.
But we actually had people that detoxed in their parents' homes. I mean, it was really not an
How many
ideal
years
situation.
ago was that?
About 10 years ago.
Okay. So you did that on your own before you partnered with Starfish.
Well, this was when right prior to and then right after we started. We had about 2 men that we helped get into Teen Challenge. Both their names were Adam, interestingly enough, because God is amazing and he has a sense of humor. That we helped get into Starfish Project right before we started, or helped get into Teen Challenge right before we started Starfish Project. But right at that juncture was right before the Medicaid expansion hit, where there was more detox entities. So that was one of the biggest barriers we initially started with. So that was where we had to start.
And talking to you guys a little bit beforehand, I know you used the model, a Starfish Project model from other counties or another county to sort of get you started and create that entity here in town, right, Stan?
Correct. Actually, it was our son's cousin was wanting help, and we were searching for someone to pay for him to get into Teen Challenge. Our son found Starfish Project of Huron County, and they offered to help us. And with that also, they let us know that there was a grant available through the Shelby Foundation. They've been trying to start Starfish in Richland County with Steve Sheldon and Tom Snyder. So that led to us having a meeting. We got a board together, and got a 501c3 and started working Starfish.
And the rest is history, as they say, right? Yes.
Yeah. How many lives, we didn't discuss this, but how many lives have you touched through this in the past 10 years?
I wouldn't even know how to hazard a guess, because you're not just talking about the individuals. A lot of times we have families that we're involved with and that we're still involved with. We have a group called When Two or More, which is a support group for the friends and families of those who are struggling with addiction that meets at Mosaic Church, and we've been doing that, I think for about 7 years. So we've got family members that are like family to us now.
Sure.
That we've been in touch with. We have people that are in sobriety, that are in recovery, that still stay connected with us. We have people that have lost family members to addiction that still stay in touch with us. It's a pretty extended family at this point.
And really what you started doing was providing just a go-to, just kind of a connection to getting help, but Starfish expanded way beyond that, and you're providing all these other services. What kind of other things are you doing in addition to those? Basically, you're still doing the referral base, the piece, right? And then the program you just mentioned, but you're doing some other stuff too.
Well, we realized that if they came back to community, they needed help reestablishing their lives in a different way. You couldn't connect with the people they'd been with before, so we kind of started mentoring whenever we can, and helping people to move beyond that lifestyle they had before. And it's a learning process. Some of those people never had, their parents were users, so they were never taught the things that we took for granted growing up, and they needed to kind of relearn and be reparented, which Valerie has women that she works with regularly. Of course, the guys, once you get them going, they want to go lead. They move. So I have guys that stay in touch with me who are doing well. But the women tend to stay in touch with her.
Yeah, that mom thing.
Yeah, it's that mom thing, that mama bear.
Well, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, I would like to kind of talk about the peer support groups that you have. And we are going to take a break, and we'll be back with Stan and Valerie Rust of the Starfish Project.
If you've been injured, whether personal injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you are not alone.
And you definitely don't have to fight alone. While you focus on recovery, let the Heck Law offices focus on your case.
With over 45 years of combined legal experience, we understand your situation and the entire overwhelming legal process.
With an injury you're already handling too much, let our team be your advocate.
I'm Jeff Heck.
And I'm Jeff Stifler.
We're Mansfield's Injury Lawyers. Call us today or visit us at hecklawoffices.com.
I'm sorry that I didn't know what to look for, Pops.
It's not a cry for attention.
If only he had accepted help.
If he only knew how many lives he had touched.
How much we would miss him.
How much her friends and family loved her.
The hard work you put in now will pay off.
You don't really know what you're going to be in the future. You could be the next doctor, the next psychiatrist that helps those children understand their mental health issues.
The Outdoorsman with Buck McNeely, Saturday night at 10:30 on WMFD.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you.
And together, we can make a difference.
Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
This program discusses sensitive mental health issues, including suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to Sparking the Conversation. We're here with Valerie and Stan Rust from the Starfish Project here in the Richland County area. And We were talking about some of the programming that you guys do, and really some of the resources that you can provide to people who are struggling with various forms of addiction and substance use and use disorder issues, correct? Yeah. So we were talking about some of the support groups and things. Maybe you could expand a little bit on that, and also tell us a little bit more at some point about how somebody would get engaged with you if they need it.
Okay. We started the When Two or More group, which is for the friends and family of people struggling with addiction, and that was primarily because there had been a group here about a year prior to that had stopped, and so people were reaching out for additional resources, wanted to know if we would start the group up, and with some conversations we then started that up. That meets once a month at Mosaic Church on Park Avenue West in Mansfield. It's the first Monday right now of the month at 6:30 p.m. And we also do it by Zoom for people that would rather do it by Zoom. And then we 2 weeks ago started the Walking the 12 Steps with Jesus program with Pastor Tom Snyder and his wife in the Shelby Helpline building. We're real excited about being in Shelby because they are obviously where our initial grant came from to start the program. Yeah. And because we want to get information and help to people that might be in the outlying communities that may come to the Shelby Helpline building but not come into Mansfield to get help. So it's a good way to reach a group of people that may have been underserved with information, just general helps.
Yeah. Great.
And what we talked about other services, and if they would want to come for either of those services, you saw how to do it. But let's say I'm struggling with a child, an adult child who has an addiction problem. Would I call you? Would I look at the Starfish program?
Yeah, a lot of people go through our Facebook page, and our phone numbers are on there. We're pretty transparent about how to get a hold of us. It's we have trifolds out.
We'll make sure we get those on the screen.
Yeah.
And probably all the classes you have are on there as well. Can they see the different types?
I put them out before the class, before the support groups. I always put a blowout on the Facebook page so people are aware of when those are
and I
going
think your
on.
contact information is also on the on your website, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
People tend to contact us more through the Facebook page. We respond quicker, although we do respond to all of it. But
sure.
And a lot of times people who are in active addiction may not have a cell phone that works, but they do have Wi-Fi services, and they do contact us through Facebook Messenger a lot too, and I will respond to that. Even if they go in through my personal page and reach out through Facebook Messenger, I will respond to them on that as well.
So when people call us, if the person in distress needs detox, we can help them get into detox services in and out of the county, wherever they need to go. Once they get through that, then whatever they're willing to do as far as a type of rehab, we like Teen Challenge, but if they don't want that, and we can get them into a 4-month program here in the county, or there are some programs outside the county, we'll help them and direct them in that way. The key is, I always tell people, I know the system that's going to help you, it's the one you're willing to do. So we try to figure out what that is.
That's a great way to say it.
That is wonderful, yeah.
That's good.
Instead of saying it's broken, it's like whatever you're willing to do, you'll get that help.
Yes. And I love the thought that you guys are really connectors to that. You have some of your own resources, but as we were talking before we began the program, you were talking about how you try to meet people where they are or where they may be in the journey. Maybe you could expand on
meet
that
the addict where they are, and I thought that was
absolutely. Our offices are our vehicles. That's how we meet them. We've been offered office space, but we really can't use it. We need to go where they are. When they call us, if they need a ride, we'll take them. To where to treatment, and sometimes a little daunting when people call and they want help, and you go, let me call you back, and I call them back and go, I can get you in right now, you want to go? And they're like, well, I don't know. It's because they have gone without before, and they know how painful it is. So it's a little daunting for them, but we don't give up.
No.
And you also have some response team that you're a part of. Tell our viewers about that, if you would.
Yep, Starfish Project was on the from the rollout of that through the pilot and the mental health board. The opiate response team is a group. It's an officer, one of the treatment centers in Mansfield, and then what's called an advocate group, which is where Starfish came in. We would go out within 48 hours of an overdose to the site of the overdose, regardless of where that site might be, to provide resources to whoever is there. there. Whether even if the person who overdosed didn't live there, obviously someone was there during the course of that action that may need some help. So we try to provide what is, we have what we call a one-pager, which is pretty much every resource in the county that you can think of that we give them. We also, if need be, we'll provide Narcan when we go out because, again, Narcan is essential to keeping people alive until they make the decision to get treatment.
Absolutely.
And it's a good way also to kind of mitigate and change the perception of law enforcement, because with law enforcement comes out with help rather than to arrest. You can change the perception in the community of what law enforcement can do for you. So it's been a really valuable program.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's such a the admiration that we have for what you do going out there, and the commitment is incredible. We always talk about hope, so when we get back, let's talk about the hope that you have for Starfish Project and what we can expect in the future. We'll be back with Sparking the Conversation right after this.
The need for mental health and addiction services is on the rise. To meet this need, Catalyst Life Services has opened a behavioral health urgent care. Access mental health care when you need it without an appointment. The urgent care is available Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday. Located at 741 Shoal Road in Mansfield. It's the help you need when you need it.
No one kinda likes a Filet-O-Fish. It's an all-or-nothing sandwich. That's why we never see one half-eaten.
Get 2 delicious Filet-O-Fish sandwiches for just $6. Only at McDonald's.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Happy anniversary, Mix 106.1. This year, we are celebrating 60 years of Mansfield's best mix, Mix 106.1. And it's all thanks to you. When we shop local, our community thrives, and so do our favorite businesses. So let's shop local first. Thanks for your continued support. Here's to another 60 years of shopping local first.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned.
For a limited time, you can get a premium MyPillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98.
Sleep well, America! For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry Stein. You know, we're always looking for new ways to cover stories in North Central Ohio. You can help us too by sending us news tips, some story ideas, pictures, or videos right to our newsroom email. Just send us your tip to newsroom@WMFD.com.
Welcome back to Sparking the Conversation. We're here with Valerie and Stan Rust from the Starfish Project. And one of the things that I looked up, and it's sort of the bad news, if you will, 70,000 deaths in 2020 from lost lives from drug overdoses, and fentanyl is now the leading cause of death in the United States for ages 18 through 48. It's just beyond heartbreaking, and I'm assuming that Richland County, your experience in Richland County with the increase in the fentanyl deaths and the opioid crisis, that's consistent with what you guys are seeing?
Very consistent, and unfortunately, being part of the opiate board, we do get part of the information from the toxicology reports, and right now the heroin is virtually non-existent in our community. What people are purchasing as heroin is essentially fentanyl, and there's so many different fentanyl analogs that sometimes it's even difficult to determine what actually killed the person. So it's what we see here is very consistent with what is going on nationally.
In our last opiate board meeting, there were 10 deaths this year so far, which is the first of the month.
So that would only have been 2 months.
And we've had more since then, since that day.
Yeah, it's a critical issue, and so glad you're fighting it in our community. But with that, I know that people do recover, and there are success stories.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think we've really been blessed with individuals who, as they recover, they want to give back in the community. So there are several women that I've been involved with, either through Starfish or as our involvement as a peer supporter with Catalyst, who are now working in the field and actually mentoring and helping other people get sober, which is always amazing. And that's, to us, the model of what we want to do. We want to mentor people and disciple people so that they can come forward and do the same for someone else. So that's huge for us, is to see that process.
And one of the men that stands out for us, we had interviewed him early on. He was actually high at the time we interviewed him. We were concerned that we could actually even do the interview, but his mom was there and she was laying her head on his shoulder, and we got him into Teen Challenge. Valerie asked him, "What is it you want?" He said, "I want a family." We got him into Teen Challenge. He invited us to his reception. He's married. He has kids. He's doing well.
Beautiful.
He also invited the arresting officer and thanked him in front of everyone.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. That goes to show you that people want help. They do want help. They just don't know how to get out sometimes. Right.
Well, sometimes the addiction, when you tell somebody to quit drugs, you're not addressing the problem that led them down that path in the first place. So it's very typical of the story of Jesus and the man at the well. They'd been there for 30 years, hadn't went to the waters to get healed, and Jesus says, "Do you want to get better?" Because sometimes people languish in that illness for a while, and then just to see them start to make those walks, it's an action. You have to be able to move and do different things. So you have to address the trauma, you have to address the lifestyle, you have to address a multitude of issues.
Exactly.
And it takes a core of people around that individual to help them to move forward.
Yeah.
We often talk about a dual diagnosis, and so many that are involved in opiates and taking drugs and doing anything to soothe their pain, and the pain needs to be dealt with before they can get healed.
It's a coping
that way.
mechanism.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they need to learn new coping mechanisms that are healthy.
Very true. Very
And
true.
one of the things I think you guys provide so much hope, I think, for our community with the passion that you have for it, and I know it comes from personal experiences like ours does. But for somebody who's out there struggling, for somebody who's got a family member struggling, what kind of message do you guys have for them about what's possible?
No, people do recover.
There's as long as people are breathing, there's hope. As long as they're alive, there's hope. Every time you have an opportunity to speak into that person's life, if you're showing them a way out, if you're, even if I just take them a sandwich, if they're still out on the street using and I just take them something to eat, I always try to leave them with hope. I always try to tell them that, people do care about them, that somebody does love them, because they need to feel that, they need to know that. So anytime you have an opportunity to speak truth and hope into somebody's life, you should do it.
Yes.
Always.
Another thing you said to us yesterday was there are those people who are sitting in jail right now who are going to be, on the flip side, helping and teaching others in their future. And I'm sure you've experienced that.
Yeah. One of my favorite stories, and I got permission to share this, so I think I'm fine. The young lady had been prostituting actively around Mosaic Church, which is where we attend, and she would see me coming out of the church with some of the other women I had there, and she said God kept telling her to cross the street and go into the church, but she couldn't do it. She ended up getting arrested. God met her in jail. And we got involved with her through Catalyst, and then she told me, "You helped me across the street."
Oh, yeah. That is wonderful.
So, that's what it takes. So it takes people willing to help people move.
And I think the one last thing I want to make sure people understand too, and you guys are definitely a faith-based organization, and you live that faith.
Absolutely.
But it's important for people to know, I think, who maybe that's not how they want to approach it, that you also provide resources and direction to other programs that are not necessarily faith-based. So anybody can contact you to get whatever help, again, as we said before, Stan, wherever they need it, right?
Absolutely. We try to find out what they're willing to do, because that's the treatment that's going to help them, whatever they're willing to do.
And if you're willing to make a change, reach out to Starfish Project. And stay with us. We'll be back with our memory moment shortly.
Catalyst Life Services, a comprehensive behavioral health organization, has been serving the community for 70 years. Our wide array of wraparound services and our ability to treat the whole person is what sets us apart. It's everything you need in one place: mental health, crisis, detox and addiction services, case management, and peer recovery support. We even offer vocational programming to get you back to work. Catalyst Life Services. Call today and get the help you need.
Menards is your one-stop destination for all things flooring. And right now, you'll save 11% on all of it. We have a great selection from all the top brands, including Great Lakes and Tarkat. Great Lakes vinyl plank is waterproof and has an attached pad for quick installation. Tarkat laminate flooring is durable and easily clicks together. Right now, all Great Lakes and Tarkat flooring is 11% off. Get 11% off everything right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Attention Zantac users. The FDA requested manufacturers to pull Zantac and products containing ranitidine off the market, noting exposure to unacceptable levels of a cancer-causing agent. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with cancer after regular use of Zantac or ranitidine products, you might be entitled to financial compensation. If you have colon, kidney, or any of these cancers, time is critical. Call now for a free consultation. If you don't win, you pay nothing.
Call 800-555-1212.
Welcome back to Sparking the Conversation, and right now we're going to be doing our memory moment. And if you hadn't guessed, Jeff is dressed a little casually for the memory moment.
So what I have is Danielle loved flannel and her flannel shirts.
Flannels.
And this is one of her flannel shirts, maybe her favorite one.
I actually think it is her favorite.
Yeah, and it is so daggone soft. And so she wore that. Anytime she didn't have to dress up formally, she had a flannel shirt on.
She probably had 30 flannel shirts.
Yeah, I bet she did easily.
After we lost her, we passed them all out to the sisters and the friends. I kept the majority of one, but we've got a few pictures that we're showing. And this picture right here is the going away party all her friends in Florida threw for Danny on, it was March 9th of 2018. And they all wore flannels. It was a surprise party. She's the only one who didn't have a flannel on. So all her friends wore it because that's what she was known for. And then the other two pictures, you're going to see the flannel that Jeff's wearing. Again, it was her favorite. And it just, we thought since the end of March is here and April will be coming up next week, that we would just share what Danny loved, which again was flannels. And another thing that is very, very creative. Yep. And she loved the T-shirts with the flannels. Yep. But the other thing that Danny, what we had done with Danny's flannels is our daughter Sarah had them made into headbands or hair ties, whichever. And this is one of her flannels, so I wear this every night as well. And it's just a fun thing. So a good way to have a memory of Danny and a good way to share the memory.
And it made sense in the last week of March because March came in like a lamb this year, and so if it goes out like a lion, make sure you stay warm with your flannels.
Yes, and think of Danny when you do.
Think of Dan.
And again, with April coming, spring coming, we would like you to know that Sparking the Conversation will continue. And if you have any stories to share, we would love to hear them. You can message us at 33forever, message WMFD. Either way, we will get to it, and we would love to share your story.
Thanks for being with us tonight. We'll see you next week.